Learn the facts about Measure I. On November 6th, Pasadena's voters will decide on Measure I, a 3/4 cent local sales tax. What is Measure I? In July, the Pasadena City Council unanimously placed the Pasadena Infrastructure/Community Essential Services Protection Measure I on the November 6th ballot. If enacted, Measure I will provide a locally controlled funding source to address community priorities identified by the public, such as maintaining fire, police, and paramedic services and 911 response times, repairing streets and sidewalks, keeping fire stations open and upgraded, improving neighborhood and school safety, maintaining after-school and senior programs, and addressing homelessness. How does Measure I improve fire safety? Engineers have said that in a major earthquake, Pasadena's aging fire stations would likely be rendered inoperable, crippling the ability of first responders to address major medical emergencies, search, and rescue. If enacted, Measure I provides funding to repair and upgrade aging fire stations, bridges, and city emergency shelters to meet current seismic safety standards, better preparing our city for disasters. What are other infrastructure needs addressed by Measure I? The city of Pasadena is 132 years old and has aging infrastructure which needs to be repaired and upgraded. Measure I funds upgrades to deteriorating city streets and sidewalks before it costs taxpayers more in the long term. How does Measure I address homelessness? Pasadena now has one of the largest homeless populations in the San Gabriel Valley, and homelessness has increased 18% from 2017. If enacted, Measure I provides funding to address mental health, substance abuse, and job training to respectfully help individuals, veterans, and families with young children transition away from and stay off the street while ensuring business districts, parks, and public areas are safe and secure for everyone. What is Measure J? Why two measures? If enacted, Measure I generates approximately $21 million annually in locally controlled funding that can't be taken by the state. Measure J is a companion advisory measure suggesting spending priorities should Measure I be adopted. How do these measures help children? Measures I and J help support more than 18,000 Pasadena students with continued funding for city-run children and youth after-school, summer, and physical fitness programs. Supporting quality, public neighborhood schools was also a priority identified by the public that would be addressed by these measures. How can we be sure Measure I will be spent on local services? By law, funds generated by Measure I are required to be spent on local needs. No money can be taken by the federal government, county, or state. Locally controlled funding from the measure would be subject to strict accountability provisions, including the independent audits and online release of expenditures to ensure funds are spent as promised to voters. What will this cost me? If enacted, Measure I generates $21 million annually through a 3/4 cent sales tax. Measure I is not a property tax on homeowners, and visitors to Pasadena will pay their fair share of the costs to use our parks, roads, and public safety. Measure I does not apply to food purchased as groceries or prescription medication. When is the election? The election is November 6, 2018. Register to vote online at www.sos.ca.gov/elections. For more election information, visit cityofpasadena.net.